Hey everybody, it's Yusef Yammers, where I take simple shit and I make it complex. This week we're going to talk about Maria Sharapova, which I would normally talk about on the podcast, but normally people don't know anything about tennis that I talk to. They don't seem very interested, but there is something very interesting about Maria Sharapova because she's pretty much the world's sweetheart when she plays tennis. Like a lot of tennis equipment, anything pink that's being sold is either for breast cancer or Maria Sharapova. I think Maria Sharapova had the breast cancer, like she had the pink stuff before breast cancer took it over. But anyway, the article reads, Maria Sharapova announced that she had failed a drug test at the US Open. And boy, does she look like Maria Sharapova seemed to she gained like 20 years on her life in about 15 minutes. She went from looking, you know, like a chick that might be in her late 20s to like a older lady who looks like she just killed her husband, you know, like a soccer mom or something. It's actually kind of weird for me because she's, you know, this is her serious face, and before she's kind of looking serious, but now she's a little bleh. I'll post a picture. Anyway, Maria Sharapova announced that she had failed a drug test at the US Open. In a press conference summoned with less than 48 hours notice, speculation was rife that Sharapova would announce her retirement, but the five-time Grand Slam champion stunned the tennis world by announcing that she failed a drug test. I wanted to let you know that a few days ago, I received a letter from the ITF that I had failed a drug test at the US Open. I did fail the test, and I take full responsibility for it, Sharapova said. It is not yet known what kind of consequences Sharapova, who is the highest paid female athlete in the world, will face for the failed drug test. Sharapova's attorney, John Haggerty, is quoted by the USA Today as saying that a positive drug test could result in a ban of up to 4 years. He added, mitigating circumstances can lead to the elimination of a ban altogether. We're still determining what we are going to request of them. I've asked them to have a cooperative process. The ITF, the International Tennis Federation, for those of you who aren't tennis savvy, released a statement confirming that Sharapova failed a drug test administered on the 26th of January, the day she was defeated in straight sets by Serena Williams at the Australian Open. Sharapova had been given a provisional ban, which will begin on the 12th of March. And I'll stop reading there. All right, when you get caught for drugs in tennis, it's really serious because when they ban you, they basically can shut down your whole career. I mean, 4 to 6 years of being off because of a banned substance. You know, that's like you start sort of getting good when you're like you know, if you're like a genius, you get really good at 16, you jump up the ranks like Rafael Nadal or something like that. But most of the time, the players start to, you know, just kind of gather skills as they go along and move to the next level. And then they make more sacrifices as far as their body is concerned. But if they get caught for doing a banned substance, then all of a sudden it's like, yo, you come back 4 years later and you have to gain all your ranking points again, since you're ranked like you could be ranked in the top 20 and you leave for 4 years. You basically starting at zero. You're like number 3011 again. You know what I mean? Then you got to start winning crappy tournaments, hope for wild cards so you can get into the tournaments that give you more ATP and WTA points and stuff like that. I mean, it's a big hustle to get to a high level in tennis. And when you get there, you got to try and coast as much as you can by you know, winning some and losing some. You know what I mean? But if you get banned, if you get busted, that's about it. That's pretty much the end of your career. And I mean, for normal players, a player like Sharapova, they're probably going to make a couple of, they're probably going to lean. I mean, Sharapova brings in enough money. You know what I mean? She's super rich, and I don't know of any company that will be able to turn away one of their top money makers. I mean, if it isn't Sharapova, it's Serena Williams. So if Sharapova falls out, even though she hasn't beaten Serena Williams in like almost never, you know, if she falls out, that's like half the money-making machine, and all her sponsors and everything. I mean, she is like the poster girl for female tennis. She's like the best-looking blonde chick who could stop playing tennis and sort of be a model if they made her up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? She's like over 6 feet tall. I think she's 6'3", and she plays really well, and she's won every slam that there is to win, and she's been whooping ass since she was 16. Like, I find it hard to believe that Andre Agassi could say, hey, I sort of kind of did meth, or a player like Richard Gasquet, who hasn't really won anything, can say that a hooker kissed him with cocaine on her lips and he didn't take any cocaine, and that's why they just kind of like sort of give him a little thing. Or they gave like Marin Cilic, he got in trouble for substance ban, and it like lasted like maybe 2 years or something. You know what I mean? Then he came back and started beasting like he wasn't doing a different substance. See, that's another thing that gets on my nerves. Like, I don't believe that players aren't doing any sort of performance-enhancing drugs anymore. All I believe is that they hire chemists to mix up some sort of concoction that enhances their performance without getting them in trouble as having that performance-enhancing drug on the list of drugs that are allowable. I mean, if you sit there and watch tennis, you know what I'm saying? Like, you sit down and you watch like a 5-set match, you know, that's enough. You know, you're just like, oh, fuck that. That's a lot of tennis. Now, imagine somebody has to do that every day, or they do it every other day. Like, a 5-set match for a dude is every other day in a big tournament, and in a small tournament, it's every day. So that person is supposed to wake up and bust their ass for these big matches. And some of those players can go like 6 hours. Like, the top player busted 6 hours on the, he busted like a 6-hour record on one match, and then the next day he woke up and played another 6-hour match, like and won them both. You know what I'm saying? And you're supposed to tell me that they're not enhancing their drugs. Oh, he's got a gluten-free diet. That's what it is. His gluten-free diet has enhanced his performance so good. He just stopped eating wheat or something. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. I don't believe none of that stuff. And as a matter of fact, Sharapova basically said that she had been taking this performance-enhancing drug like for 2 years, and then she didn't notice that it popped up on the list of banned substances. That's why she got busted for it. You know what I mean? Whatever. You know, I don't even understand why we have to have these bans anyway, and why they gotta be so strict when as it's just everybody's just remixing the drugs. You know, if I want to get drunk, right, and I know that like start taking vodka shots and stuff like that, and then I wake up the next day with a horrible headache, that's a banned substance in my life. Am I still gonna get drunk when I want to get drunk? Yes, because I know that vodka isn't the only alcohol out there. It's the same thing with these performance-enhancing drugs, man. People just want to win so bad, they gotta get them, man. It's one of those things that just kind of kills the whole experience for anybody who has hopes of being like a great tennis player, one of the best in the world. Is the idea that you gotta eventually you'll get up to a level where your body is just gonna not do what you want it to do, you know, because you're not taking any performance enhancing drugs, anything that makes you have longer endurance or helps your body take in oxygen better, or some sort of creepy thing that you falter at as a regular human being. You know, it's such a very thin and crazy line. Like UFC fighters like Nick Diaz can get busted like really hardcore for smoking weed or something. It's horrible. It's one of those things that just kind of takes all the fun out of you know, watching athletes do their thing and just being amazed by their skill level. You know what I mean? Anyway, I think that's enough for my rant. I hope everybody has a nice time. Schwupp-de-whoop, free Mac Martin, and I'll check you guys next time. Peace.